Hello, friends. I am Dr. Barbie Wasson with River Point Family Acupuncture, and this is River Point's podcast, where we get to the point on all things acupuncture, health, and vitality in this beautiful river valley. Today, I want to start with a fun little game. I'm going to list some things, and you tell me if any of them sound familiar. Let's begin. Your skin is breaking out, but you're not 16. Your mood is all over the place despite your efforts to remain pleasant. Your energy craters around 3 p.m., give or take. Your digestion is doing whatever it wants to, seemingly whenever it wants to, and sometimes it just doesn't. You have pain somewhere that nobody can fully explain, and maybe your hormones feel like they're running the show badly. Now, here's what most of us do with that list. We make separate appointments. We buy separate products. We Google separate things. We treat each issue like it lives in its own little silo, completely unrelated to everything else. And I get it. I really do. That's how our healthcare system is mostly set up anyway. You've got a dermatologist for the skin, a GI doc for the gut, a pain specialist for the pain. Everybody's got a lane. But here's what I see in my clinic every single day. These things, they're not separate, and they are almost always different expressions of the same underlying terrain. Terrain, you ask? What do I mean by terrain? Well, it is your metabolic health and your inflammatory balance. Oh, are we going to talk about balance again? Yes, friends. Yes, we are, because it is always about balance. Now, before your eyes glaze over, I know metabolic health sounds like a wellness buzzword that belongs on a supplement label next to words like optimize and biohack. I promise I won't be going there today. When I talk about metabolic health in my clinic, I mean some very practical and important things. I mean how well your body turns food into usable energy, not just calories in, calories out, but actual cellular efficiency. I mean your blood sugar dynamics, how stable or unstable your glucose is throughout the day, because those swings, they affect your mood, your skin, your inflammation levels, your energy, your sleep. They affect everything. I mean your inflammatory signaling, whether your immune system is in a state of chronic low-grade alert or whether it's calm and responsive. I mean your mitochondria, those tiny little powerhouses in your cells, and how resilient they are. And I mean your nervous system, whether you're spending most of your day in fight or flight, or whether you're actually getting windows of rest and digest. In Chinese medicine, we have our own language for this. We'd talk about, spleen and stomach qi, dampness, phlegm, blood deficiency, heat, stagnation, different and sometimes weird words, but nonetheless, it's the same concept. The terrain either supports your health or it undermines it. Let me tell you why this matters so much in my cosmetic work, because I think this is where it gets really interesting. To me at least, but I know I can't be the only one. When the inflammatory and metabolic terrain is dysregulated, the skin tells the story. Full stop. I am looking at adult acne that no topical product has touched, rosacea that flares with stress or certain foods, dullness, puffiness, texture that won't smooth out, slower healing after procedures, and collagen breakdown that's moving faster than it should and faster than we all want it to. And here's the thing. I can put needles in your face all day long, and actually, it would really be my pleasure. Cosmetic acupuncture is genuinely incredible, and spoiler alert, I love doing it. But if we're not also looking at what's driving the inflammation underneath, we're doing the equivalent of repainting the walls while the foundation is crumbling. So, when a new patient comes in for cosmetic acupuncture microneedling, I ask a lot of questions that might seem unrelated. I want to know about your digestion, your sleep, your stress, your cycle or menopausal history, depending on where you're at, your energy patterns throughout the day. That's not me being nosy. That's me looking at the architecture before I start with the aesthetics. So what do we actually do about it? Because I want to be clear about something. I work within my licensed scope. I don't prescribe medications, and I'm not your MD. But the tools I do have are specific, evidence-informed, and honestly, pretty powerful. Acupuncture itself modulates your autonomic nervous system, meaning it literally helps shift you out of that chronic fight or flight state. It supports digestive function. It helps reduce certain pain and inflammatory patterns, and it improves sleep and stress resilience, which then feeds everything else. I also use TCM food therapy, and I want to emphasize that this is not me handing out a rigid elimination diet and wishing you luck. This is about aligning your food choices with your specific patterns. Someone running hot and damp needs a different adjustment to their diet than someone who's depleted and cold. Simple, sustainable changes, not suffering. And on the cosmetic side, timing matters. We're not just booking microneedling and hoping for the best. We're thinking about your recovery capacity, choosing skincare that supports your barrier instead of wrecking it, and building stress regulation into your aesthetic plan. Let me paint a picture that will probably sound familiar to a lot of you. Imagine someone comes in, they've got perimenopause symptoms or irregular cycles, they're bloated half the time, their skin is dull, they're breaking out, their fine lines are progressing faster than they'd like, and they've got this chronic neck and jaw tension that nobody has been able to fully resolve. Conventionally, that's 4 or 5 different appointments. In my clinic, that is the map. We look at underlying terrain, the digestion, nervous system, the inflammatory load, and the hormonal history. And we build you one integrated plan. Acupuncture to stabilize the foundation, food therapy adjustments targeted to their pattern, cosmetic work once the terrain is calmer and ready to respond. And sometimes we can do all 3 at once. And almost always, I'm going to suggest gentle movement and stress reduction rituals wherever you can get them in. And what we find consistently is that when you work on the architecture, the wallpaper, your skin, your face, starts to shift too. The skin improves, the mood lifts, the pain settles, not because we treated them separately, because we treated the thing underneath all of them. If you won the game when we started today, and most or all of this sounds familiar, if you've been feeling like everything is connected but nothing feels coordinated, that is exactly what my intake and care are designed for. We build integrated plans that support your whole system, grounded in acupuncture and ancient Chinese medicine, and tailored to you. You can find the companion blog to this podcast at riverpointacu.com. And if you're ready to dig into your own terrain, reach out. That is it for today's River Points podcast. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today, friends. I genuinely love getting to talk about this stuff with you. And as always, with wishes of wellness, I am Dr. Barbie Wasson, your friendly neighborhood terrain inspector, reminding you that your skin, your mood, your gut, and your pain are all speaking the same language. You just need someone who knows how to listen.